If you want a great fall garden this year in North Florida, then the work starts right now in July. I love planning, I love color coding, I love organizing, so July makes me really excited because you get to lay out all of your garden plans for the upcoming fall. Today we're going to be talking about the most important tasks for your July garden that we should all be doing, one easy method that I use to plan out my fall garden, and as requested, I'll show you exactly what I'm starting inside this month and what I already have going. But before we get into it, if you have any North Florida gardener friends or any Florida gardening friends in general, make sure you share this video with them. That's the only way that our channel grows and we get to talk with more gardeners just like you and me. So without further ado, let's jump into it. So for our July tasks this month, the most important thing is to take care of our soil. It is hot out here and the rain is inconsistent. The best thing we can be doing right now is to keep all of our beds mulched heavily to try to keep that soil temperature down and that moisture in. If you mulched your beds to start this spring or this summer, take a look at them. I was just looking at this bed this past week and noticed that almost all of my mulch was already gone. So I went ahead and topped this bed up, but give your garden a check, order what you need to so you're prepared. The second thing we can do is to keep our soil moist. Our afternoon rain showers during the summer are so unpredictable. Every day it shows a 55% chance of rain in the afternoon, but you never know what's going to happen. So even when we get those rainstorms, sometimes it's a huge downpour and other times it's just a little sprinkle. So I'm going out and I'm checking my soil because it is important to keep those microbes alive for our fall garden. You could also use some shade cloths if there's a part of your garden that is a little bit bare or is really getting pounded by that afternoon heat and it needs a little bit of help. This past year, I did try to plant some sunflowers on the outside of my beds. They unfortunately got pulled or stepped on before they were big enough to offer some shade, but those branching sunflowers are a really great way to give some natural shade to all of our gardens. And the fourth thing that we can do if you have some bare spots that the sun has just absolutely fried this summer is to plant a cover crop. There's a ton of different options for cover crops, but one of the crops that I feel like is the easiest for me in my garden is to plant black-eyed peas or southern peas. I don't think too hard about it. I just pop them right in the soil and let them do their thing. If they have enough time to produce those fully formed pods, great, you might have some seeds for the next time you need them. But if not, they still provide a great nitrogen source for your soil once you fold them over next month for your fall plantings. You can still plant your transplants of your roselles or your gingers or your tropical spinach, amaranth, calabaza, long squash, loofah, Seminole pumpkins. And you can even start reintroducing some tomatillos, tomatoes, and peppers into your July gardens if you have some transplants that are already ready to go. Additionally, if you want to start some new cucumber seeds this month or your Halloween pumpkins, July is a great month to do so. The next thing we're going to talk about is how to plan your fall garden. So truly, you don't have to have any plan for your garden, but I love the planning part. Looking at all of the possibilities and all of the plants that I want to grow, it makes me so excited every planting season. So the method that I'm following for my raised beds this next fall is a very simple system. So I'm going to be planting all of my tallest plants right in the middle of the bed, my medium plants along the outsides of my beds, and then my low plants along the front. Sounds pretty self-explanatory, but my method thus far has been put things in the ground wherever I want them to go. But thinking in this way gives me a good idea of how many of each plant I'm going to want for my garden this coming fall. If you don't want to guess on the spacing or the timeline of all of this, I've done all of the heavy lifting for you. I am getting rained on. I just finished my brand new seasonal planting guide for North Florida. It maps out exactly what vegetables and herbs we should be planting every single month and every single season, along with how many of those plants go in each square foot, and it even gives some example garden layouts for different sizes of gardens. I've linked that down below, as well as my tomato and garlic deep dives to help you have the most successful season yet. Now let's talk about starting seeds. So every single year that I have started seeds, I have always just used a general potting mix. I know the recommendation is to use a seed starting mix, but I never felt like it really was going to be worth the effort or the expense. But this year I decided I'm just going to try some seed starting mix and see if it made any difference. And truly it made a huge difference. I couldn't believe it. The root systems on these seeds were the best out of all of the transplants I have ever grown. I am sold on seed starting mix. I will be using that moving forward. But another lesson I did learn, I started some of my seeds in my larger celled trays as well as in my plug trays. And the amount of seed starting mix that you need for the trays as opposed to the plugs is much, much greater. In the future, I wouldn't use my bigger trays for starting my seeds. I would use my plugs because they use so much less of the seed starting mix and it is a bit more expensive. So let's talk about the heavy hitters that you should be starting inside this month if you want to avoid buying transplants from the store, save a little bit of money, and get all of the joy that comes with watching those seedlings emerge. In July, we can start things like our eggplants, kales, tomatillos, tomatoes, peppers, endive, and mustards. There's a bit of a debate on brassica timing here in North Florida, so UF Extension officially recommends on their planting guides to plant your brassicas like your broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, kohlrabi, etc., except for kale, in September. But when you do a little bit of a deeper dive into the resources that I found on there, they do mention that in North Florida, you can start your cabbage, your cauliflower, and your kohlrabi in that late August window if you'd like, but waiting until September for your broccoli and your Brussels sprouts. If you've ever tried to grow Brussels sprouts here in North Florida, you know they can be a little bit dicey and they can take a really long time to actually form those Brussels sprout nodules to cut off. The temperature requirements for Brussels sprouts to form like the Brussels sprouts that we would buy at the store is a little bit dicier here in Florida with our temperature fluctuations throughout the winter. So they are neat to try to grow. I've grown them a few times here, but you have to kind of modify your expectations on the amount of Brussels sprouts you're going to get and the size. So if you are somebody who wants to get that cabbage, cauliflower, or kohlrabi in the ground in that mid to late August, then you should be starting those inside now. That would give them a good 4 to 6 weeks to get strong enough for you to actually be able to transplant them out. However, for me, my trays are very full inside as it is, so I'm going to wait until that mid-July or early August timeline to start my brassica seeds for the fall so I can transplant out everything that I already have growing in there to the garden and make some room. So if you're targeting a September 1st planting day outside for your brassicas, that means that you should start your seeds inside around that July 21st. Let's move inside now into the air conditioning and out of this little sprinkle, and I'll show you exactly what I've started inside already, along with the 3 things I started that I probably should not have. I had some of you ask to show exactly what I'm starting and when I am starting it to transplant out into the fall garden. So I will show you the seedlings that I have growing now. I started them inside on June 12th. I'm usually a little bit late to the ball game when it comes to starting seeds, so I didn't want that to happen this year. So instead I made some new mistakes planting seeds this year, which I will also show you. So here's tray number 1. We have some blue dwarf kale on this side here. And then these are some lettuce seeds that I have saved from some romaine type lettuces in the past. I did go ahead and start some of those. These are my San Marzano tomatoes. These are the tomatoes that I've been saving from the grocery store. They don't look very happy this year, just these 2. So we'll see how they do. They were also started in the Aero Garden. We'll keep an eye on those guys. But here is mistake number 1 that I made. These lettuces look beautiful. These are my new varieties this year of my butterleaf lettuce and the black seeded Simpson. I'm not really sure yet which one is which, but we'll see. But I also started these on June 12th. And these can't really be transplanted outside into our North Florida gardens all the way until September. I'm not sure if these guys are going to be able to last inside all the way till September, having been planted on June 12th. So we're going to see how they go. But that was mistake number 1. Wait longer for the lettuce. This is tray number 2 here. So we have our San Marzano tomatoes again growing on this side. And then these are some banana peppers growing down here. Here's mistake number 2 and 3. I have never planted cilantro or dill as a transplant. I always just plant it from seed. So I thought, I was gonna get ahead of the ball game this year, and I started them inside from seed. Well, you can see how sad the dill is in the cilantro. Apparently, dill and cilantro prefer to be direct seeded into the garden instead of transplanted. So if we keep going to the other side of our tray here, we have some basil that's looking nice. This is some eggplant starts over here, which are doing great, and then a few more banana peppers sprinkled in and 1 rogue kale. Moving on to my plug tray. So I've already transplanted a lot of my plugs into their bigger home, and I'm hoping to get these guys in, but I just do a few every night because I don't have a ton of time during the day to sit down and do this. So I'm just piecing away at it here, but I have some extra kale, some extra basil, and some extra cilantro and dill. I also have more San Marzano tomatoes and more banana peppers. And this is my last tray, tray number 4, that I'm obviously working on transplanting things into, where we have another eggplant growing here and a few more of those banana peppers, and this is another San Marzano. I have just a few more plants of those same varieties growing in my arrow garden that I'm also going to transplant out hopefully soon. To fill those empty spots in my seedling trays, I'm also going to be starting 5 new seeds indoors to hopefully transplant out in 4 to 6 weeks. The first of those is chili peppers. Peppers take quite a long time, and August is our last month in North Florida to get those peppers into the ground. So these babies are going to be started hopefully today, so they'll be ready to go for August. I'm also going to be starting some rudbeckia flowers and some basil towers indoors so I can transplant those out as soon as they are ready. I haven't had great luck direct sowing flower seeds into the garden, again probably because I'm not out here every day checking on my seedlings, so I'm going to start them indoors and hopefully they'll be healthier for a fall start. And the last 2 things that I'm going to be starting inside this month are my Mexican tarragon and my lemon balm. Mexican tarragon loves our heat and humidity, but those seeds are tiny and can easily get washed away in our afternoon thunderstorms. So I'm going to be starting both of these indoors as well to transplant them out as soon as they are ready. Gardening in North Florida is all about planning those transition windows. Again, if you don't want to do the heavy lifting yourself, I've already done it for you with that seasonal planting guide that you can find in my bio below. So grab your seed trays, grab your grow lights, and let's get this fall garden growing. Drop a comment below to let me know when you are starting your brassicas and if you prefer to start them indoors or start them directly in the garden. Until next time, I'll see you soon.